Hi, this is Carlos Henriquez, and you're watching the Jazz Musician's Voice.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here today with Carlos Henriquez, the great bassist with Wynton Marsalis in the Jazz and Lincoln Center Orchestra.
Yeah.
Now, Carlos, tell us about the experience here at the festival, because you guys played in a new concert hall.
Brand new hall, yeah.
Yeah. How was it? How was the sound? How was the acoustics?
Well, the acoustics were great.
Yeah.
We did sound check for about 45 minutes prior to the show, and the sound was great. I mean, we usually start the sound check acoustically just to see what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. We do that in any hall, especially a really nice hall, and we automatically knew that the sound was going to be good.
Well, that's great, man. You know, and you guys sounded fantastic. You know.
Thank you.
We saw the first few tunes. You know, obviously with the press thing, they kind of kick you out. But the part that I did see, it was really great, and you guys were really swinging. Especially the first tune was just really like
4-on-1. We played 4-on-1.
That fast energy. You know.
4-on-1.
And you know, I've played with a big band before, the George G Orchestra. Mm-hmm. And I know as a big band player, it can be kind of a big responsibility as a bassist to make the group swing. And you certainly fill into that role. Tell us a little bit about being a big band bassist. Because I kind of call it, you guys are kind of a hybrid, but you still are kind of a big band.
No, it is. It's a big band. You know, it's the role of a bassist is hard, you know, because you got to think of yourself as somebody who is a provider. Right, you got to make sure that everybody knows where the time is at. You know, you're carrying a big load, right? But you also got to understand also with the band, which is great, is that it starts off big, and it always come back down to a quartet or trio. So you know, when the band is playing live together, you know, you think you want it to be simple, you want a very hard drive, and when it goes down to a small group setting, when the soloist or quartet, whatever's within the arrangement, then you could kind of open up. So that's how I kind of see myself in the band, you know, which is a different hybrid type of, like you said, a hybrid version of it.
Well, you know, it must be amazing to play with one of the most famous musicians of all time, Wynton Marsalis, you know, and you guys tour all over the world. As a bassist to a bassist, it must be pretty complicated touring all over the world with basses, and you probably don't always bring your bass, right? You have to.
You know what?
I'm
a lucky cat because with the organization that we work for, you know, they really stress everybody having their own instrument.
Well, that's
so I'm lucky, you know, and I thank my blessings for that. But I know many other bassists that don't have the ability because of travel situation. But I mean, if I'm not working with Wynton and I have another job to do, I usually have to rent a bass sometimes. So that's a mental thing that you got to deal with.
And you got to set up the bass beforehand, and it's
you got to
really
try the action and stuff.
But you know, at the end of the day, you know, Carlos Henriquez, that's the sound on any bass. That's kind of like, you are your sound. You know, like Ron Carter on any bass that he plays on.
It'll sound like him.
Ron Carter, and you as well.
It's something that's internalized already.
For bass players who are watching this, what's your setup like? How high do you like to have the strings off the
You know what? I used to have them higher when I was much younger. I don't have it that high now. You know, if we're talking millimeters, I might have the G at 5 millimeters. You know, 4.5 to 5. I'm believe it or not, it's coming down more now. The older I get, the lower they're getting. I've been figuring out ways of playing the bass without having to exert that much energy and getting a maximum sound. And then I have this thing where I pull the string out. You know, instead of pushing down, I pull it out, like old school style of playing. And I've kind of like trying to master that Ray Brown stuff.
What kind of strings are you using?
I'm endorsing Parastros now, so I use the Evas. I changed from gut. I was a heavy gut player for about a good 5 years, so I switched now to synthetic strings.
I use the Animas sometimes. The Velvet Animas. But I mean, the gut sound is always.
Well, that's the jazz sound. You can't let that go.
So thanks for telling us a little bit of pointers about the instrument and such. For young bassist who's watching this, who wants to kind of move into the role of something that you're doing, like big band bassist, like really what advice do you have for them?
Well, you know, the first thing I would tell them is you got to work on your forearms. You know, the bass is like, you know, you're a gymnast. You know.
Yeah.
Before you even think about much of music, you got to work on form, and you got to strengthen your hands. You got to strengthen your forearms.
Yeah.
You know, that is the main thing you got to do. You got to be a strong musician in order for you to carry it.
Yeah.
You know, the music will come in.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't have form, you don't have strength, that's when you get hurt, and that's when you start being, you know, not wanting to play the bass. You get discouraged.
Yeah, you get discouraged, and you know, your arm gets tired.
Oh yeah, man.
You hold it up like that.
The left hand, the right hand, your forearm swells up. You name it.
Well, you know, I'm sure you guys play more than, you know, 3/4 of the year. You're playing all the time.
Yeah, you're constantly playing.
So, do you ever have any times where you feel like you need to take a break from playing, you know, to kind of recuperate? Or
yeah, usually when I come back from a tour, I take about 2 weeks off, a week and a half.
Yeah.
Which is maximum
really from not playing at all?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll take that. I mean, for me, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just picking up the bass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to work on speed. Speed has always been an issue with me.
Okay.
I can't really master it as well as I want to. I look at people like Christian McBride, and I try to see I try to see the mythology of how they work on their speed and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a muscular thing, you know.
I agree, man. You know, one of the guys that I really like is N-Hop, Niels Henning Larsen.
Yeah.
And man, that speed, the three-finger
technique.
Marcus McLaurin was just showing me something about that. And you know, it's something about the stamina and the right way of playing the bass.
Yeah,
you know, the speed. But you know, you certainly sound great, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You actually were the real inspiration for me, because I went to see you guys playing All Rise at Boston Symphony Hall, and I saw you doing that, and I was like, hey, that could be me, man. I dig. And then I started taking jazz, and I got into it. But you know, you guys do that. You guys are ambassadors around the world, getting young people in their music.
And we try,
really
we try hard.
Who are some of the other people you're working with right now? Because I know you work with Wynton.
Well, I work a lot with like Eddie Parmeri at the Latin scene. I did a couple things with Chris Bodie. But, you know, recording stuff. You know, I did a recording with Vanessa Williams a while ago.
Great, yeah.
You know, a couple Latin stuff here and there, and some film scores that I've been trying to work on.
That's fantastic, man.
You know?
Like, where do you see the future of your music going? Where do you want to take your bass playing? What direction?
Well, you know, I mean, I try to evolve it as much as I can. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I also want to form a band. You know, I want to present my Latin music and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, that's another part of me that's you know, I want to try to preserve that style of music for my people. And you know, I'm trying to get into movie scores now. It's a very tough market, but I got a lot of friends who are in it, which helps. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, Carlos, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, brother.
I really appreciate it. You know, we're here, you know, at the festival doing stuff, and you know, you really gave us a great insight into the life of a bassist, man.
It's
a working
tough one.
bassist. You know?
Good and tough one.
Yeah, you know, it's just such an inspiration for younger people who are watching this. So, guys, check Carlos out. And where can people check out your music?
Well, you know, it's funny. I haven't released an album yet, but I got one coming out pretty soon.
Okay.
And you know, you can check me out on YouTube. I got a website that's going to be coming out, carloshenriquezmusic.com.
Okay.
They could always check me out at the Jazz Link Center website. They'll tell you where I'm at, what I'm doing.
Great.
And you know, I'm out there. So
you guys are headed to Europe in a couple weeks.
Pretty soon, yeah. I got a month out there.
Yeah. Have a great tour, man.
All right, man.
Thanks again.
Thank you, brother.